What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers, and break down what's happening with the market moving forward as we have important catalysts coming out, not to mention a very important support to watch for. But just note that I am not a financial planner, so make sure you take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo and deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. Deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total, not to mention 8.1% APY on uninvested cash. It's a very, very good offer. This offer ends in just a couple of weeks, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, now let's talk about what's happening with the markets. So, looking at SPY, we had a very, very tricky structure. I was hoping that we would try to break this range, try to push for potential new highs, but instead what happened was they pumped us only to dump us back down in the range. So as of right now, we're still range bound on SPY. We haven't officially broken resistance. We haven't officially lost it yet. We haven't lost key support yet. We haven't broken past key resistance yet. We're still stuck in the middle. So we're just going to have to wait a little bit longer to see if SPY could get a break in one of these directions. Otherwise, we're just range bound. So we have some very important data coming out at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's going to be the manufacturing reports. First notes that at 9:45 a.m., 15 minutes after the market opens, we have one piece of data coming out, the S&P Global Manufacturing PMI. So look for some volatility 15 minutes after open. Then at 10 o'clock a.m. is when we have the main pieces of data coming out. That's when we're going to be looking for a big move. We have the ISM Manufacturing PMI, the ISM Manufacturing New Orders, Prices, and Employment data all coming out. New orders and prices are two of the most important ones because they are important for inflation. So we'll see what the sector looks like, if there's a decline or not, and what kind of reaction the market gets. On top of this, I just want to mention we have some bill launches at 11:30 a.m. So we'll see how the market responds to all of that. But the main time is going to be 10 o'clock a.m. Now, one thing worth mentioning is that the market was approaching new all-time highs. It has potential to push up still, but we'll be watching to see how we react to some key levels. I didn't see anything else that's too crazy in the news besides that. But once again, guys, we're seeing a lot of interesting headlines. At least the same ones as what we saw like last week. For this week, this is what we're seeing for the earnings calendars. Not really much for the week, but I'm going to be more interested towards the end of the week when we have more retail. Besides that, let's just focus on the charts. So I just want to say that SPY, if you look at the 5 minute time frame, we've been consolidating for quite some time, going back and forth and back and forth. We're kind of stuck within this very, very tight structure for now. So whichever we break will determine a bigger move. But I just want to note that it's not even just the range, it's also our levels. So if we were to lose 560, we're looking for a dip back down to 558. If we break past 560, we're going to be looking for much higher levels like 563 and 565. We could dip a little bit, but we'll see if we try to hold 560, if we consolidate around here. And then whether or not we get a bounce, it's going to be determined by the manufacturing numbers coming out at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So watch to see if we get a bounce or not. We could dip a bit and we'll see what the reaction is. If we do bounce, look for a break of 562 to turn this back up. And then we could try to fill the gap that was made overnight. Or if we lose 560, and we could be dipping all the way down to 558 or even lower below that. So it depends on our data. I'm hoping we get that bounce. I'm really hoping we try to get that bounce, but we'll see, guys. You want to be open-minded nonetheless. There is one thing that's concerning me about the market. That's Nvda. Nvda is starting to lose the support. So last week it was holding support, trying to rebound, but instead of holding this 117,200 EMA, we're supposed to hold that to go back up to 122. Because we're losing this, we're at risk of dipping all the way down to about 115. So be careful with Nvda. There is a risk of this dipping lower if we don't reclaim 117. So just be very, very mindful of that. For Bitcoin's trying to rebound. We're going to be looking at 59,450 as resistance. If that breaks, we're looking for 60,500. And if we end up projecting, we'll be dipping all the way down towards 57,000. So watch and see what kind of reaction we get as we're range bound. I think we might push for 59,400. We'll see if we reject. For ES, we're dipping a little bit, but we have this 50 EMA support at 56.25. If that fails, we're going back down to 5,600. If we hold this, we could try to rebound. So just be careful, guys. We'll give this some time just to see what the reaction happens to be, but we might dip a little bit for now. Tesla had a very, very nice structure this morning. We are trying to hold up, but the issue with Tesla is we have this 217 resistance. If we break that, we're going back up to 220 plus. If we lose 215, that's going to be our support. We're looking for 212. We're stuck within the middle for now, so we'll see what the reaction happens to be, but give this the time it needs. For the QQQ, we basically have this 473 area as our support, 472.75 to be exact, very close to that 473 range. If that fails us, we're dipping back down to 470. If we hold this, we're going back up to 475. We'll see what the reaction is from the data. It is still possible we're making higher lows. So if we hold the low from Friday, we could try to rebound. We will see just to be safe. So it's a very tricky market, so give it some time. The Russell's not looking too good. We actually are not holding the trend line. I was hoping we'd hold this trend line, try to ride this back up. But instead, we're rejecting. Let's look at 217 as support, followed by 216.5. Look at resistance at this 218 area, followed by 220. We're stuck in the middle. We may dip a little bit, but we'll see what the reaction is once the data is released. For Aapl, we are in the middle. We're looking at 228 as support. If we don't hold this, we could be dipping back down towards this imbalance at 227, not to mention this gap over here. Then we also have this resistance at 230. We're kind of stuck in the middle, so give this some time. And for a couple more, we have Coinbase, which is dipping right now. We're still kind of weak. I did mention to you all that there could be a rebound coming, but we might dip a little bit more first. We could be dipping closer to like 178 first. For Amazon, we got to break our 200 EMA at 178, this red line here. If we break that, we're going to be looking for a push all the way back up for that 180 plus area. If we fail to break that, we're going back down to 175, so watch that resistance. For Meta, we're just kind of chopping right now. If we break 520, we're looking for 525. If we lose support at 515, we're going to be dipping back down to 512. I'm still looking for a rebound attempt. Microsoft are making higher lows. If we hold 415, we could try to rebound from 420. If we lose that, we're going to be dipping down to 412, so give this some time. For Google, we're also kind of range bound. We could dip a little bit more if we don't end up holding 163.5. So if 163.5 fails, we're going to be dipping. We do look kind of weak right now. If we hold this, we could rebound for 165. So watch the support to see what the reaction is once our data is released. So that being said, guys, the market is dipping a bit right now. It's very unfortunate. We were really hoping that this would get a nice break, finally trying to break this structure. But now we're back in the range. So we're still range bound on SPY. We have to give this even more time. So we'll see what the reaction is when the data comes out. So 15 minutes after open to look for some volatility. And then 30 minutes after open at 10 a.m., that's when the main pieces of data will be coming out. So watch and see what happens. With that being said, I just want to say I thank you all so much for listening. I hope you guys have a great day. And get ready for some high volatility at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The market sometimes does unfortunate things like this. It was about to break out only to just come back down. If SPY establishes a higher low, it could still rebound as we still have a gap to fill. So we'll see if we could try to fill the gap above that's being made overnight. Once we gap down this morning, we'll see if we fill the gap above, and we'll see how things go from there. All right, so watch your levels, get ready for the data, and I'll see you guys very soon, just a couple of hours. Thank you for listening, and peace out.